Are you really gonna look at this cute face and not subscribe?
Well, hello, welcome back, you bunch of string picking guys and gals, to the String Pickers channel here at Obscene Studio. And if this is your first time joining us on the channel, like and subscribe, by the way. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment, do whatever you want to do to help this channel out if you do so enjoy the content that you have before you. Today's video, however, is Guitar Collection 2026 Part 1. That's right, string pickers. A lot has changed in the last year. We've got new equipment in here. We've got old equipment still in here that I just can't seem to let go of. New equipment in here that I've traded for, bought, put together, all of that good stuff. Part 1 is going to be basically older guitars that I've had in the past, a little bit about each of those guitars, and we'll do a little playthrough with them. Maybe a tone or two, you know how it is. Picking the gift fiddle. Pick a few chords for you guys, that way you guys can hear each guitar. I'm going to try and leave each guitar on the same tone that I have loaded up into the Headrush Flex Prime. That way you can hear the difference in between each instrument I play. However, when I do get to the bass guitars, which there are two, I will have to swap rigs for that. But hey, you guys know how it works. You're not really here for this mess. You're just here for music and laughs. I know. I get it. And that's okay. And our first guitar of choice is, I say this about every guitar, but I have to say that Ritchie here is my number one. Ritchie is an ESP LTD EC256. I got this on a trade about a year and a half ago, maybe a little more than that, almost 2 years, I guess. And when I got Ritchie, I traded a Charvel for this guitar. I wanted something LP style because for years I had just decided that LPs were the devil. I didn't care nothing about them, so I never owned one really. And then I got the EC50 that you'll see later on in the video, and then I decided, hey, if 50's good, 256 is better. I mean, am I right? Am I right? Am I right? So upon getting this guitar, I've checked it out and done a few things to it to set it up to my liking. I really enjoy this guitar. I do have some specs on the guitar that I will put up over here. See, that one didn't sneak up on me. So this guitar, all in all, has been my number one. I use this guitar to play a lot of 80s and 90s rock and roll, a lot of metal. I always keep this guitar tuned to standard and drop D. Does not fluctuate anywhere else, just those two tunings. That means that these bottom strings are always the same, and the top string is the only one that moves down to D when it sees fit. This guitar has some incredible tone, and I'll go through a couple of those with you right now. First off is distortion. Got a lot of mids cranked up on that, so if it doesn't really come through all that great on the low end, then that's the reason why. I will, however, show you clean tone on this guitar. So yes, that is Ritchie. Now I'm going to try and make it through probably about 4 or 5 guitars in this video, and then there'll be a part 2, and then there'll be a part 3. But in this video, however, we are going to go through the older guitars that I've had around for a little while, and then we'll work our way up to the new additions to the studio, as well as some of the equipment that I'm running in the studio at this moment. But yes, that is Ritchie. Ritchie is a fantastic guitar. I have been in love with this guitar ever since I've owned it. I have done a lot to this guitar that didn't really need to be done, but I did anyway. You've seen a couple of videos ago that I did do a scratch remover on this guitar, and I will go ahead and tell you the scratch remover did help. It did take some of the very, very minor scratches out of it and put an incredible shine on it. But this thing is just absolutely beautiful as it is. I don't care how many scratches it gets. It has extremely low action, and let me check that. Action on the low E on this guitar is 1.20. It is just under 1.25 on the low E. On the high E, we are looking at 1 even, and when you come up the neck here at the 22nd fret, you're looking at 1.25. so there's very, very little I have to do to this guitar. It is a set neck, so basically there's no shimming unless you pop this thing off, and and who wants to do all that? I don't. I just want to play. But I did put some Ed locking gold tuners on here. I did change those out because I wanted something that didn't take me a long time to change. The old ones that were on it didn't really need changing, but I just did what I did to this thing to make it a little better. In the future, however, I do want to do a pickup swap on this guitar and see if I can find some other pickups and how they would affect the sound of this guitar. However, for right now, I'm not really looking. If they fall into my lap, they fall into my lap. I did want to take John's pickups that he sent me and put them in this guitar, but in order to do so, I would have to drill another hole for another knob, and I really don't want to cut on this guitar more than I have to. Plus the fact that those pickups are active and I would have to route out a battery compartment in the back. Really don't want to do that to this guitar. This guitar is just perfect for me the way it is. It handles a lot of tunes that I play, and it's so easy to play. You can play this for hours and hours and never get any fatigue in your hand. So that is Richie, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the next guitar. Pow! This string pickers is my guitar red. This is an Ibanez RG3 EXFM1. Ibanez. Really. What's up with the serial numbers? This guitar string pickers has been with me the longest out of all of the guitars in this studio. I've picked up this guitar when it was on sale on the local marketplace about 17 years ago. I love this guitar. I got it really cheap from a guy that bought it from his son, and his son just didn't want to play. I mean, he just didn't take any interest in it whatsoever. So I bought this guitar back then for $250, and it is a shred monster. Even though I can't shred anymore, this thing is an awesome guitar. It handles high gain very, very well. It has the V7 and V8s in the pickups. They are passive. Has the pewter hardware, and it's got a hardtail bridge. I've never changed the pickups on this. I've never done really anything to this other than get inside the back cavity to do some work on it there. But however, this thing does have some issues that do need resolved. I've noticed lately that there is some binding going on in the nut. Now this has, I think, a graphite nut in it. So I'm going to put some of that slick nuts on it that I've gotten here lately that I used, that Sparky recommended. Thank you, Sparky. Works pretty good. And so I'm going to do that to it. I'm going to try the scratch remover on this thing too, because it has got some major pick rash. I have beat this thing to death and wasn't even paying attention to it. But let's do a sound sample. We'll start with a clean tone that we left off on just a minute ago. And this is the high gain that we were on just a few minutes ago with Richie back here. So yeah, I mean, this thing is a monster. When I pick up this guitar, something happens. I don't really know what it is, but when I handle this Ibanez, when I handle Red here, when I pick it up, something happens. You know, guys, I'm in my 50s. I'm in my early 50s, and when I get this, it's just metal all the way. There's very little clean tone that I play on this. I keep this tuned to drop C just for that occasion. And of course, Ibanez is known for the flattest necks on the planet. Once you get them there, it's very hard for them to get any kind of bow or anything to them. This, however, over time has had a little bit of fret sprout, enough to put little tiny hairline cracks in the binding. But the frets are so well done. There is absolutely no fret sprout that you can feel at all. So flame maple top, it's a bolt-on maple neck. It's called a Wizard neck, but it's not like the Wizard 2 or the Wizard 3. This thing has got some age on it. I'll put some specs on this one up right over here, and you guys can look at that. But yeah, this is a great guitar. I love this guitar. I play it a lot when I'm in the mood to just get some stuff out, some frustrations for the day. I can pick this thing up and just wail on it, and it takes every bit of the abuse that I put onto it. I am going to do some things to this guitar eventually. I am going to do the scratch remover on this. I have learned to give things a second chance on this channel when I do reviews.
And let's face it, that stuff flunked the first time around.
But yeah, that is Red. That is Red, my RG3EXF1 Ibanez. Straighten your stuff out. But this is just, I have always been an Ibanez fan. I've loved Ibanez for years. Ever since I was a teenager, Ibanez was my go-to when I went to buy one. I've owned more than I can count since I was a teenager. Traded them, sold them, but Ibanez is awesome. On to the next one. Shazam! String pickers, this is Eden. Eden is in very close running with my favorite guitar in this studio next to Richie up here. I keep Eden tuned to drop D, but do take her down to drop C sharp every now and then. That's as low as this guitar goes. I keep it in that realm. This thing,
story time.
I seen this guitar one day on the local marketplace, and I've done a little bit on the Washburn X50. Some research on this guitar. This guitar is just absolutely beautiful. The first time I seen it, I fell in love with it. I just thought, man, this is a beautiful guitar. So I got in contact with the seller and talked to the seller and said, hey, he had this listed for $400. And he told me, he says, you know, I give $1,000 for this thing new. And I was like, for real? And he says, I have the receipt. And I still have the receipt. It's in its case. But this guitar, he sold it to me for $400. There was not a thing wrong with it other than just little tiny minor scratches, which I've added to over the years. But I wanted this guitar. And I said something to my wife, when you take this outside into the sunlight, this is a teal green. However, in here in the studio lights, it looks like a dark, but if you look close, you can see that beautiful quilted maple top in there. That really pops when you get outside, really pops. So let's go ahead and get some sounds on this one. This is the distortion, the same distortion we have been using. You get what I'm talking about. This guitar is just, it's massive. It's just massive. And we take it down to the cleans, and this is the same clean we used on the other ones. String pickers, this is my wife's guitar. She doesn't even know how to play a chord, but she fell in love with this thing when I first got it, and just laid the rule down. I'm never allowed to sell this guitar. This guitar is it's stuck here in the studio, which I am perfectly okay with. This guitar is just fantastic. It's just a great guitar. You just cannot go wrong with this instrument. The sound, the pickups, everything is just fantastic. It does need a little TLC too. Probably need some of that swirl and scratch remover on it just to see if it's going to do anything. I mean, we all know probably not. But yeah, this thing it's just massive sounding. I love this guitar. Okay, on to the next one. Shazam again. Ladies and gentlemen, I talked about this just a little bit ago. This is the ESP LTD EC50. You can buy these things for like $100 used. I mean, for real. And these have the best sounding pickups in here. I used to keep this tuned to drop C. However, I brought it up to drop C sharp because it sounds better in that tuning. And I keep Red tuned to drop C because he sounds better in drop C. This guitar is just like fantastic. My son had bought this off of somebody and bought it for $100, and it was the ugliest thing you've ever seen in your life. So what I did was ordered one of these guitar skins that I can't seem to find anymore with the image print on it like this. I can find regular, but not like this. I do want to change this in the future. They used to have quite a few on there that was really nice. However, this guitar has always been a good guitar. I've not touched this guitar in probably 3 to 4 weeks. I just took it off the wall, off camera, and only string I had to really raise up was the low E string to C sharp. The rest of the strings were in tune. That just is a testimony to this guitar. And the sound is fantastic too. I use this to play a lot of tunes. We'll start out in the clean tone, just like we did before. Get what I'm talking about. It's not bad. And these pickups, the ESP pickups, are just, they're what makes this guitar. This is just absolutely. I did the output on this pickup a while back, and the output on this pickup was just insane for this. It was like 15.8, and I just love this guitar. Let's try some distortion tone. So yeah, this one is one that is going to stay around for quite a while. If anything is ever done to this guitar, say I get another EC 256, I'm probably going to wind up swapping the pickups out to a different guitar and maybe the electronics and stuff, and then just keep this to put something else in at a later date. But for right now, this thing is just massive. I love this guitar. It's a good guitar, and especially because it comes from my son. I traded him out of this guitar, so it costed me a guitar, but I did want this guitar, and it's a great sounding guitar. I just love this guitar. So let's close off the video there. We have 4 guitars down out of the 14 that I own, but I just wanted to bring you guys along with the journey, because really I'm kind of documenting this for myself, so that I remember what I have and what I've lost from year to year, how I've traded, how I've sold, things like that, so I can go back over the years on YouTube and kind of look at each one throughout the years and say, hey, I remember that guitar, or hey, I still got that guitar, or
Somebody stole my guitar.
whatever the case may be. String pickers, this is the reason why I'm doing these videos every year, is because I just want to document what I've had, what is left. Everything that I bring into this studio holds a special place in my heart in one form or another. Those that really grip on tight are the ones that I hang on to, just like the 4 that you've just seen. Those 4 guitars really mean a lot to me. They're the ones that I know that's not going anywhere for a very, very long time. However, in the next video, we've got some coming up that's going to be really cool, some that are new. We've got some equipment that we're going to show you in the next couple of parts. So if you guys will just hit that like button and subscribe,
And hit that bell thing.
then you can get notified, and you can come back and you can check out all this stuff with me. We're also going through amplifiers and some of the equipment that I've got in one of the parts. We're going to walk through the things that I have in this studio and check that stuff out too. But as for now, string pickers, I pray that you and yours are having the most blessed day ever, and I pray that God is with you all. Until next time, play with me.